no matter the location. From O-A-K-L-A to L-V, I'm a Raider.
Raiders 53-man roster projections coming at you here on the Raiders Report, and today's show is made possible by my friends and sponsor, Manscaped. Raider Nation, make sure that you go to manscaped.com/Raiders, where you can save 20% off and get free shipping. Your balls, I promise y'all, they're going to thank you. So why exactly are we talking about this? Because Jon Gruden, Mike Mayock, they have some tough decisions to make, and they got to get the roster down to 53. I know y'all have heard the 55 number thrown out there. That's because practice squads, they're a little bit different. They're going from 10 to 16, and you can take two of those 16 players, put them on the 53. Watch this math, 53 plus 2, that equals 55, and cuts must be made by 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Saturday. So if you're looking to just stay up to date on your favorite team, if you bleed silver and black, here at the Raiders Report, we're going to be keeping you updated on all things news, rumors around the Las Vegas Raiders. All you got to do, click that big red button that says subscribe, and if you are already subscribed to the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube, take the link that you see below, youtube.com/Raiders Report, and send it to your 5 biggest fans that you know. We're first going to start off here at the quarterback position. Derek Carr, Marcus Mariota, and yes, I do believe that the Raiders end up keeping Nathan Peterman, and that's just simply because Marcus Mariota has been struggling at camp, and that is as simple as that. I actually believe if Mariota wouldn't have struggled, the Raiders could have actually potentially moved on from Nathan Peterman, saved $2.1 million, and in worst case scenario, you just roll with Carr, Mariota, and potentially throw out a player like Lynn Bowden Jr., who the Raiders actually have used a little bit at the quarterback position during camp. Let's now go to the running back position, where I'm keeping 4 running backs and a fullback. So last season, this is basically the same thing that the Raiders did. You know Josh is #1. You know Jalen is going to be the pass-catching back. Lynn Bowden Jr., look for him actually to make a bigger impact on special teams as the main kick returner. You're keeping Ingold, who's going to get more work this year. But it was really tough for me to be able to decide, hey, do I go with a player like Devontae Booker, or do I go with a pass-catching running back in Theo Riddick, who the Raiders just brought in on August 31st? So if you were Jon Gruden, if you were Mike Mayock, which one of these running backs would you have kept? Type TR for Theo Riddick, type DB for Devontae Booker. I kept Devontae Booker because, in my opinion, he is a lesser version of DeAndre Washington, and that is a role that this Raiders team wants on the team. All right, let's now go to the wide receiver position. I actually have them only keeping 5 wideouts. Henry Ruggs, Hunter Renfrow, Bryan Edwards, I got those pictures flipped. It's all good. Nelson Agholor and Zay Jones. So let's look at the updated depth chart here. Ruggs and Edwards, that's going to be your 1-2 punch. Renfrow is going to be the main dude in the slot. I know John is really, really loving what he has in Nelson Agholor, who I think his main output is actually going to be as a punt returner, and then Zay Jones. However, I know a lot of you are going to yell at me like, Mitch, why didn't you put Rico Gafford on this roster? Here's my reasoning. If the Raiders want to keep, let's say, 6 receivers, maybe 7, then Gafford definitely makes the list. I was hoping that he was going to be able to make it for me. I just couldn't quite fit him in. However, this Raiders team is going to hope that he clears waivers. And when you look at early on when I talked about 53 to 55, Rico Gafford will be one of those players where he will be on the practice squad and he will make that 55-man roster. So I'm going to make this question here the pinned comment on today's video. Name a surprise cut candidate, right? Think about Prince Amukamara. Think about last year with Brandon Marshall. That's where I want your mind to be. Name a surprise cut candidate for this upcoming year. Let's all go to the tight end position. Darren Waller, Jason Witten, Foster Moreau, Derek Carrier. Not too many surprises here. If you watched my last 53-man roster projection, nothing has changed whatsoever. You know Darren Waller is going to be your main option. I'm curious on how Jason Witten and Foster Moreau split up snaps. I'm hoping Witten's more on the field for blocking, and I'm hoping Foster's on the field in the red zone and also in those catching abilities. Yes, you're going to see this team move on from Nick Bowers and Derek Carrier. They're going to keep just for some depth to make sure that your girlfriend, wife, heck, significant other, side piece, I don't care, doesn't cut you from her starting roster. Go to manscaped.com/Raiders and get 20% off and free shipping on the best male grooming products out there. My favorite product is the Lawnmower 3.0. I have one at home. If y'all don't believe me, there are pictures on my Instagram of me using the Lawnmower 3.0. It is the best way to make sure that your Chucky head is 100% clean. Smooth shave, rechargeable, light at the end so you can see what you're shaving down there in your black hole. Go to manscaped.com/Raiders, 20% off and free shipping. Offensive line time here. We got Kolton Miller, Richie Incognito, Hudson, Gabe Jackson, Trent Brown. No surprises there. This is one of the best offensive lines in the National Football League. But from my last video that I did, I also talked about some other players that could potentially make it. This is the difference here. I am keeping Brandon Parker, Denzelle Good. This time I ended up keeping Andre James because if you need extra depth at center, the fact that they already moved on from Jordan Devy, that to me tells me they are still going to be looking. John Simpson, Sam Young also on this list. So that's where we're here. 23, 24, 25, 26, and 27. If you haven't caught on yet, I'm counting you down from 1 all the way down to 53. That way you know for a fact all 53 players that made my list. So one of the things that I love to do with the nation is I want you all to interact with me. The easiest way that you can interact with me is on Instagram. So if you have questions, if you want to see what I do in my daily life, if you just want to talk to me, heck, FaceTime, I think that's what you can do on IG. Follow me, DM me. I'm at MitchellRents365. All right, let's now go to the defensive side of the football where I have Carl Nassib, Maxx, Arden Key, and Clelin Ferrell. No changes here, no real surprises either. So let's then go to the defensive tackle side of the football where I got Maliek Collins, Johnathan Hankins, Daniel Ross, and Maurice Hurst. The only difference from the last time that I made this video, well, I didn't have Daniel Ross on it. I actually had PJ Hall. That one is no longer here. So here is the updated depth chart, my projected depth chart, if you will, for the defensive line. A lot of good pieces, a lot of young players there, a lot of hype from a lot of these guys, especially during training camp. But you know what? We're going to put them up against each other a little bit because who doesn't love competition? And I know that these guys have been battling it out in camp. So out of the players that you see on screen, which defensive unit do you have more confidence in? Is it the defensive tackles or is it the defensive ends? I want you to scroll on down if you watch this on YouTube or on Facebook and let me know. Let's go to the linebacker position because I think for the first time in a long time, the Raiders have a very good linebacking group. You have Cory Littleton, Nici Kwiatkowski. You brought in those players and look for the Raiders actually to run a lot of defensive sets where they use only two linebackers, and then you'll see sprinkled in Raekwon McMillan, who we traded for, and then Nicholas Morrow. Millen will play in the rush. Morrow's going to play in the pass. Tanner Muse, honestly, probably just going to be a special teams player, but he does end up making the team because the Raiders drafted him 100th overall in the 3rd round. Y'all are going to yell at me for not putting Javin White, the sweetheart, if you will, from training camp, an unbelievably talented player, did all the right things. If White does clear waivers, he will be one of the very first players the Raiders go out and sign. So here's the depth chart. This is what the Raiders are going to rock and roll with. Again, look for it mainly to be a Cory Littleton, McMillan, Morrow, and Kwiatkowski show because Tanner Muse has struggled, and he is mainly going to be that special teams player. So get your votes in here. Y for yes or N for no. Should the Raiders keep Javin White? I wanted to type yes so bad, man. Like, it absolutely killed me. If you watched the show for a long time, you'll know that I've been on the Javin White hype train. Unfortunately, there's other needs, and I do believe the trade of Raekwon McMillan told me that the Raiders are going to go a different route. So, should the Raiders keep Javin White? Y for yes, or type your N for no. Again, if you want to make sure that you stay in your girl's life and you don't get cut from her roster, the perfect package from Manscaped is the easiest way to make sure that your balls look absolutely spectacular. What comes in that perfect package? You get the Lawnmower 3.0. You get ball toner and ball deodorant because guess what? It's hot as balls in Las Vegas, and I don't want you sweating down there. The most comfortable boxers you'll ever own. The traveling case in case maybe you're going from city to city and you want to watch your favorite team. You can get all these products in the perfect package at the link that you see below, manscaped.com/Raiders, 20% off, free shipping. Just trying to help you all out. Quarterback time. Let's get to it. Trayvon Mullen, Damon Arnette, and LaMarcus Joyner. So last year the Raiders kept 6 cornerbacks, and I anticipate them this year again keeping 6 cornerbacks. I do get a little bit different here, okay? So pay attention. Isaiah Johnson, Keisean Nixon. Before I had Nixon making the practice squad, no. I've heard the reports. I've seen some tape. He's going to end up making the squad. The one player you're like, wait a minute. You're forgetting about Nevin Lawson, and I'm not quite forgetting about him. I actually think after week 1, after Nevin Lawson's suspension, look for this team actually to probably bring him back. So he's, he tried to box some Broncos players and he got suspended for week 1. I am a big believer that after week 1, the Raiders try to bring back Nevin Lawson. But what does that mean? That means you got to cut one player. So could it be potentially Isaiah Johnson? Could it be Keisean Nixon? Or am I just crazy and say, no, they're not going to bring back Nevin Lawson? So if you had to cut one of them, who would you do? IJ, NL, or KN? We're getting close to the end here. Safety position, not too many things different. Johnathan Abram, Demarius Randall, Jeff Heath, and then Eric Harris. Look for Eric Harris and Demarius Randall kind of switch back and forth, where you're going to see Randall play a lot more snaps when the defense believes the offense is going to pass, and then you're going to see Eric Harris come in a little bit more on those rushing plays. For the depth chart projection, that's not 100% accurate, so it's just going to be Mullen, Joyner, Randall, Abram, and Arnette, and then you're going to see Isaiah Johnson, Amik Robertson, Eric Harris, Jeff Heath thrown in there. Let's now go to special teams, where I got Daniel Carlson, A.J. Cole, and Trent Sieg. No big surprises here. Carlson, all reports right now are that he's looking a lot better. A.J. Cole and I, apparently he's my doppelganger. And then Trent Sieg, can we get the man a higher rating overall? I'm added than 28th overall. If you've made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. The nation appreciates you. And if you could please like the video and also let me know a player that I left off. So I know I'm going to get some Javin Whites in there. I know I'm probably going to get a vote for Rico Gafford. But if there's somebody that I left off my 53-man roster, please let me know. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads, news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this. I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.